Sitting next to Mark, and I actually changed seats because the next time you guys see this, I have Scott Dworkin. Scott is one of our featured speakers at the ISAP Symposium in March in Tucson, Arizona. The ISAP Symposium is from March 15th through the 17th. To not take away time, you can get more information on our website. You can feel free to email us, and those links will be there. I came across Scott, and I've seen his work over the years, but recently Mark you did an interview.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you did an interview.
Yeah.
And I saw the interview, and I was kind of impressed by it. And at ISAP, we cover from military to civilian to, if it flies, if you're into aviation, whether you're warbirds or shooting airliners or military planes, we're all in the same family. But Scott has a story, and a lot of our members, we go to air shows, we want to see the fancy jet fly and stuff. But Scott has a unique position because what Scott does, in my opinion, not all of us are going to be able to do. It's a very select core. And Scott managed to work his way up there. And just to look, Scott and I, we had a phone call.
Yep.
And
the video was behind the shot, I think the ones you saw. It was a buddy of mine, Steve, who is a fellow concert photographer, because that's also something I do here in California. We had met years ago and been friends for a long time, and he started this, I think it was originally a podcast, might be wrong on that, but it might have always been a video-based thing, and had been bugging me for a while to do it, and finally we hooked up. And he wanted, he has no experience with aerial. He has no knowledge of any of that. He wanted me to talk kind of like what you were saying, just more about photography, this rare opportunity that I am privileged to have, and how that happened and why. We did it, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun, actually.
Now, unfortunately, guys, I'm going to let that be a teaser because I want to save what he's going to share with you at our symposium. But in addition to that, you also have an Instagram account, correct?
Yeah, it's Mach 91 photo.
Okay. Hey, Mark, you also have an Instagram account, and that's...
I think it's West Coast Aerial.
I think you're right. And I also have an Instagram account at Larry Grace Photo, And I don't know, Gary, are you on Instagram at all?
I've not done that yet.
See, well, we have another...
Slap my hand.
Okay. Now we have another subject to talk about there. But, just for the next couple of minutes, guys, we're all, you do commercial or aerial photography.
Yeah, strictly.
You've been doing, is all your photography based on aviation or?
No, I do, like I mentioned, I've done concert and music industry stuff for a while. Cycling, I've done a bit of action sport stuff, moto and stuff, but primarily cycling. I've worked with, covered the Tour of California for some publications over the years. Worked with a couple of what they call masters cycling teams, which is guys who race bikes here in Southern California. When I say cycling, I'm talking about bicycle, not motorcycle. Okay. So I work with a organization right now called the Davis Finney Foundation Masters Race Team, which is Finney Foundation's for Parkinson's. Their photographer, help out with their social media. And I've worked with Amgen's Masters Race Team for years as well, before they dissolved that. So my main focus is aviation and military. I'm also a writer. So the work I do as a photographer, when I show up to work with a military unit, I am writing the articles as well as providing the photographs for any publications that are interested. I'm freelance.
Save that question for the symposium, guys, because that's when I'm going to let you answer that. Gary, how long have you been a member of ISAP for me now?
I heard about you guys long now, 2009. Do I have dates wrong?
Yeah.
But I believe I started in 11. It was the San Diego conference.
Okay. And now, Gary, you have a photography background, but you also have a design and...
Right. I was one of those unfortunate corporate guys that got blown up during the Great Recession, and walked in the office one day and was escorted out to the parking lot. So a new chapter in my life, and so I spent a year kind of wondering what to do. But I've always loved photography, I've always loved aviation, so I went out to the little local airfield near my house, just really for therapy, quite frankly. And
don't we all?
I would sit out there on the edge of the runway, and just the little guys would come in their Cubs or whatever, and I'd take shots, and then I'd see where they would go, and I'd see where they'd pull in, and I'd drive down there and go, I need your number because I'm going to email you some pictures I took of you. And I got to know all the people at the airport, and it just became a lot of fun. Life is weird because from those contacts, other contacts, one day somehow I meet you. Next thing I know, I'm in San Diego, and I've met all these great guys, and my photography is just so much better than it was, and I've learned so much, and more contacts, just neat things, and it's just been a lot of fun.
Now, I'm actually going to put Gary on the spot because at ISAP, over the years, our organization, it's been around since 2000. It was founded with Jay Miller, who's being honored this year at ISAP, and Chad Slattery. And Chad has got a new aviation photography book coming out in March. I think it's going to be on Amazon. But with that, I'm the second chairman, president of the organization, and I kind of worked my way up. I started out within the organization just trying to help and meet other photographers. And I've had a lot of great opportunities. But through the years, and then when I was promoted or handed the reins, I tried to keep the organization because to me, ISAP is a family type organization as far as I'm concerned. We have professionals to amateurs, historians, teachers. If you go to the website, you'll see a lot of the membership roster, and I'm trying to get the membership to grow that way. But at the same token, I wanted to give guys that are coming into aviation. You heard Scott talk about writing, and a lot of guys said, "Gee, I want to get published. How do I get published? Which way?" So we have a newsletter that I decided to try to morph into a magazine format to give guys in our organization a chance to get published. In a way, I mean, it's not a great, but it's. I think we've come a long way. Help them get that first beginning step. Try to work out some kinks. Get other guys to help them out that way. Well, in a couple of our issues, and you can find a link on our website, and we'll also put a link directly to the magazine iSnap. Gary has, at occasion, and I'm picking on him for the moment, but he's done some extremely very good articles on World War II paratroopers. And you made that a little pet project of yours.
Once again, 2012, we were at an ISAP event in Virginia, right?
Yep, Virginia Beach.
Remember how bad the weather was that weekend? So on this particular day, there was just a heavy, spitting, thick haze across the land, and all of us just kind of scattered across the field. In the distance, I thought I saw a stretch of guys that looked like they were in World War II paratrooper walking out to Tinkerbell, the C-46 Commando that was there, sitting out there in the haze. Snapped a few shots, walked out across there, met these guys that are these reenactors, but they're beyond reenactors. A lot of times these reenactors just stand around with these weapons and they try to look good and they play a little war game and stuff. That's cool. I like to see the history being progressed that way. These guys train up in 9-day authentic airborne jump school, and they jump out of their own 2 C-47s that they own. And so they go to these air shows and whatnot. So anyway, once again, because of ISAP, I meet these guys, finds out they're in Frederick, Oklahoma at the old Frederick Army Airfield, which was disbanded right after the war. 400 buildings were there with this massive airstrip where they were doing navigator and bombardier training. Over the years, all those buildings are gone with the exception of the last remaining massive hangar. So the World War II Airborne Demonstration Team worked with the city to take over that hangar for $1 a year. We'll maintain it. They moved in their C-47s, remodeled it, and now it's the troop training barracks, the airborne training with parachute rigger schools. The whole thing is there. 2 times a year we do airborne training, and I'll go up there, and I haven't jumped out of an airplane yet.
I was going to say, have you jumped?
But they are after me like crazy, and I'm like, listen guys, I am 60 years old. My heart and mind wants to do it. This knee is rebelling against that whole thought.
There's a limit.
Just remember, I had a commander in the Air Force when I wanted to go to work on survival training. He says, why do you want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane? I don't know, but I was young and dumb then.
So I'll add to when I worked at Edwards Air Force Base for a spell there, and they had test parachutists. They have a whole group of guys that are flight test parachutists, and I always would look at them and say, like, it's hard. I personally I would never jump out of an airplane either, but to then be a test parachutist, just the connotation, testing a parachute. But yeah, they are highly trained SEER Air Force guys that get that assignment, and like some of the top guys. amazing that I didn't even know such a thing existed. So taking
No,
us,
I didn't.
Well,
either.
and from what you're saying, thanks for adding that. With these guys, I went ahead and spent the time to write a story, which got some nice publicity, and also an ISAP, which is where it first published. Since then, I've done a book on this, and I need to bring it up here and show it to you. And so I've just had a great time, and because of ISAP is what spurred that. I would never have done this. I would never have met these guys, and I wouldn't have had the gumption to pursue it. But because of ISAP, it's kind of pushed me along, and I appreciate that.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. For all you guys out there, this is really very impromptu. There's been no questions. We're just flying off the cuff. I hope you found it very interesting and informative. I hope to meet you at an air show or an event and look and join into ISAP. And thanks again, guys, for taking some time to spend it with me.
Thank you.
Again, I'm Larry Grace, the President and Chairman for the International Society of Aviation Photography, and thanks for joining us.